she was the gravy connoisseur of our household growing up. Hopefully this gravy lives up to her standards. Hey Foodie Fam, I'm Chantel and I believe that healthy eating doesn't have to mean boring. Let's make some mushroom gravy. To a preheated pan, I'm going to drizzle in a little bit of olive oil and I'm going to add in some sliced baby bella mushrooms. And I'm going to saute this up for a few minutes just to let the mushrooms cook down a bit. When I think of gravy, I think of my mom because she was the gravy connoisseur of our household growing up. And I just love her gravy. So hopefully this gravy lives up to her standards. I'm definitely gonna have her try it out when I finish making it. So we're just going to let these mushrooms sweat down a bit and then we're gonna put it right back into the bowl. It's been about 3 to 4 minutes, so my mushrooms are where I want them because I don't want them to be too shriveled up to the point where you can't see them in the gravy, but I also want them to be cooked. So I'm just gonna take this off the flame, liquid it all, and we're gonna dump it into the bowl. Then I'm adding in just a little bit more oil, and we're going to put in our diced onions and cook this down as well. And we want these to be nice and a little bit caramelized. So this is going to be a low and slow process to really bring out the flavor of the onion. I'm not sure if you can notice, but my onions are slowly starting to brown up, and that is exactly what we want because that's what gives us that savory flavor that we're looking for with our gravy. And it also means that our onions are going to be fully cooked, so there isn't going to be little crunchy bits in our gravy. I'm going in with some minced garlic cloves now, and we're going to saute this up for 1 minute or less because we do not want it to burn because burnt garlic is nasty, as I always say. So it's just a quick toss around the pan. Now we're going to make the roux for our gravy, which is basically just how it thickens up. So I'm gonna go in again with some more olive oil. And also, I'm going to put in some flour. We're gonna sprinkle that in, and we're going to whisk it around. And this is how we cook out the flour, and also just have it coat our onions and garlic. I'm using vegetable broth as my base, so I'm going to gradually pour this in while I whisk. And we're whisking to make sure that our flour mixture fully incorporates with our vegetable broth to make sure that it thickens. Then I'm going to turn my heat up slightly and bring this to a simmer so that everything thickens up. My gravy is nice and bubbly and has a beautiful brown hue like I was looking for. So now to test the thickness, I'm going to take a spoon, move it around in my pot, and very carefully I'm just going to swipe my finger through. And if the two sides do not connect, that means my gravy is thick enough. So now I'm going to go in with my cooked mushrooms. I'm gonna dump it right in, juice included, to give it more of that mushroom flavor. I reduced my heat once again, and now I'm going to put in some salt and pepper and whisk that in here. And I'm also going to go in with some fresh thyme. You could either separate your thyme leaves or you could just put it in whole. It's all a matter of preference. I'm going to separate it, so I just get my finger around the thyme and push it downwards and it comes right off. And the reason why I'm putting the thyme in at the very last is because this is fresh thyme. If it was dried thyme, I would have it put in probably on the earlier stages of the cooking process. And if you want to learn more about how to use your herbs, when to use what specific herbs and all those things, feel free to sign up for my newsletter that talks about things like this. It's fun facts of the kitchen, how you can use certain foods, how to make your life easier and healthier. So the link for that will be in the description below. So after I put in my thyme, I'm going to stir this together, and we're going to let this this sit and marry for about 2 to 3 minutes. My gravy is nice and ready to go, so let's move on to my favorite part of these recipes, which is the plating. Plated here, I have some rice, broccoli, and panko crusted tofu. And I'm going to take my mushroom gravy that I transferred over to a gravy boat because we are fancy. And I'm just going to stir it up a bit. And I'm going to pour it directly over my tofu. And there you have it, my mushroom gravy. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also hit that link in my description below to join my newsletter. See you next time.